Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about Sega Dreamcast emulation with Deecy, which is an experimental Dreamcast emulator written in Zig. And Deecy just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 0.5.0 is the latest update of Deecy, and I think some people may be excited about this one because they've added in experimental Windows CE support. Additionally, there's been some rendering improvements, bug fixes, and even more. The developer does advise that this update will break save states. Next up here, we're switching from Dreamcast to N64 and talking about a pretty big win for game preservation. Hard4Games has a brand new video out on YouTube that I recommend checking out, and like everything we talk about, link is in the description right at the bottom. They have found and preserved 2 prototype copies of The World Is Not Enough. So one of the versions is an alpha build and the other one is a debug development cart. And all of the information is right in the description of their video. There's some very helpful links there. Next up here, we're talking about Ayaneo, and Ayaneo has just unveiled their brand new Pocket Ace. And I would say this one looks really interesting. Unfortunately, I don't know pricing, I don't know release date just yet, but I do know some details. So they say that this will have a 4.5-inch LCD with an aspect ratio of 3:2. It's powered by a Snapdragon G3X Gen 2. It does have Hall effect joysticks, a 6,000 mAh battery, and 40-watt fast charging. And it will also have vibration motors. Taking a closer look at the pictures, and there will be a few different colorways on this one, and taking a look at the top here, and there are some fan vents. They don't show the back of this device, but I'm assuming there's going to be a big old fan right on the back. So let me know your thoughts about the Ayaneo Pocket Ace in the comments below. Is this interesting based on the CPU and the form factor, and I guess the colorways? Unfortunately, I don't have any more specifics, including the price or anything like that. I would suspect that this one may be a little bit pricey, but I could be wrong with that one. Anyways, I think the middle one looks the best here with the retro style colorway. Next up, we're talking about Nintendo, which had their Direct yesterday, and I did have a bit of fun on YouTube Shorts. Feel free to check that one out if you're interested in my initial thoughts about it. But I would say this is it just seems like an average Nintendo Direct. There were some cool things about it, but at the same time, it kind of felt like a bit of a filler Direct given the fact that we're going to hear way more about the Switch 2 in just a few days. Based on some of the reactions to the Direct, and some people are upset that no Nintendo Switch 2 news was showcased, even though Nintendo said, you know what, they're not showing any Nintendo Switch 2 news. I would say there were some cool games that were showcased here, and there was some very interesting information overall. Now, I could be wrong here, but it seems that most people were excited about stuff like the Mystery of the Soulless Army and Patapon 1 and 2, and Tamagotchi Life, and I almost said Tamagotchi. And on top of that, the Metroid Prime 4 footage, and also Rhythm Heaven Groove. I'm most excited about Rhythm Heaven Groove given the fact that this game, I think, is a lot of fun to play with friends after a few drinks. Anyways, here, let me know your thoughts about the Nintendo Direct, and there is something I wanted to point out, and that's with Patapon 1 and 2. This is not a Switch exclusive. So Patapon 1 and 2 Replay is up on Steam. It hasn't released yet, but it is releasing on July 10th. So you don't necessarily need a Switch to play this game, and well, some people would probably say you don't need a Switch at all to play the game either, even if it wasn't up on Steam, but let's just not go down that road. Now, during their Direct, they also talked about a virtual game card where you can essentially loan digital games between Nintendo Switches, similar to exchanging physical game cards between Nintendo Switches. So doing this has a few restrictions, but possibly also a few benefits. On the downside here, unless I'm misunderstanding something, one, the exchange can only be for 14 days. It has to be with someone in your Nintendo Switch family, and you cannot play the game at the exact same time, which I guess makes sense because you're loaning that game to the other system. If you wanted to learn more about virtual game cards, all of the information is up on Nintendo's website, and they go over it in a lot of detail. And interestingly, there's a point here that has a lot of people talking. They mentioned Nintendo Switch 2 enhanced games, and some people are wondering if existing games are going to get the enhanced treatment for the Switch 2. And about new games here, will they be backwards compatible? If someone buys a Switch 2 enhanced game, will it be backwards compatible with an older Switch, or will it not be? And on top of that, if there's an enhanced version of the game available, but you have the regular version on the regular Switch, will the Switch 2 get the enhanced version when you loan it to it? I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of rumor and speculation out there about this stuff, but we're just going to have to be patient and wait and see. Nintendo will most likely clear all of this stuff up once the Switch 2 is in normal conversation. Next up, we're talking about NES emulation with NESd, which is an NES emulator written in Dart and Flutter. It supports Mac, Windows, Android, and Linux, like the Steam Deck. So at the time of filming, NESd version 0.10.0 is the latest update. They've got some bug fixes, they've got performance improvements, and they've also added in some brand new things here. They've added support for PAL ROMs, they've added a region auto detection, and they've added a flat pack build for Linux. And they say here they improve performance by completely changing the implementation of cycle accuracy. I would say this is a pretty big release for NESd. Next up, we're talking about Ubisoft and Tencent, and they had a very interesting announcement the other day. They're introducing a brand new subsidiary. They formed a brand new subsidiary to handle games like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and Rainbow Six. The subsidiary does not have a name yet, but some people are calling it Subscribe to Mr. Sujano. As for the Tencent partnership in this one, they're having a 25% stake valued at $1.16 billion. I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm curious to see if this is a good move for Ubisoft. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about Windows, and if you use Windows on a gaming handheld, I'm assuming you do because there's some proprietary stuff in there that requires Windows to work, like an anti-cheat in a game or something. Anyways, here, if you do use Windows on a handheld, you might be excited about this brand new update here. There's updates to the game bar that make it more friendly for handhelds. Now, if you're not using a Windows handheld and you're gaming on PC and you use the game bar, you're still probably going to notice these updates because I think it's a universal update. They say here they've made some improvements to controller navigation within the widget store, ensuring a smoother experience when using compact mode on PCs and Windows handhelds. These visual upgrades and navigation improvements make Game Bar easier to use, improving the overall experience. And last up here, we're talking about Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. And Ubisoft has made the decision to port this game over to mobile. Some people are very excited about it. Some people are a little apprehensive, and some people are saying if you can beat this on mobile, you are a very good gamer due to the overall difficulty. I would say I've seen people beat Celeste with a touch screen using Skyline, so I wouldn't be impressed if someone beat this game on mobile. Anyways, here I'm curious to see the overall gameplay on how it actually feels and how it compares to the PC version. Let me know your thoughts about this one. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state. And I'll see you tomorrow.